Yeah, you only spent a couple like 2 years at UF. You were there during COVID. It was a little unique situation. Tell me, what was your time like at UF for you, and just that decision to go there?
My time at UF was great. I don't think I could have asked for anything better. Uh, I mean, growing up, I was a huge FSU fan. Even being going through the recruiting process with Sully, he knew that, and so when I got there, a big joke with him that like, oh, I wasn't where I wanted to be, but once I got there, I couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, especially for the development for me as a baseball player, I don't think that there was another place that would have fit me as a person and as a baseball player better than the University of Florida.
Yeah, I mean that too. You only spent 2 years there, so obviously the development happened quick. Did
Yeah.
COVID have any kind of effect on what like your time there, the way like how did that play out for you? I graduated in 2020, so I didn't get to high school till during it, but you kind of saw that impact while you were at UF. How was that?
Mhm. I mean, it sucked for sure. I mean, it sucked and it was good at the same time. The only thing that was really good about it is that I didn't have to really go to class. All class was on Zoom. So that was really the only positive thing. But I mean, it was fine. It sucked that we didn't get to play. I mean, Georgia, I think it was Georgia who we were going to play that weekend, was on the way down and they had to go all the way back. But I mean, COVID didn't, I think it kind of helped an aspect that I got to kind of do things on my own and kind of learn how to, prepare myself for another season. Because right after the season ended, I didn't have any really anywhere to go, so it was kind of all on me. So that kind of prepared me for kind of how pro ball is during the off season.
Yeah, I mean, you perfect segue into pro ball. You had a chance to get drafted by the Red Sox. First off, who was your favorite baseball team growing up? Was it the Red Sox? Was it somebody else? And then just kind of take me through that journey so far.
So growing up, my cousin got drafted in 2011 by the Royals, and then got kind of traded around a little bit, and so I kind of just followed him. I didn't really have a favorite MLB team. I just grew up watching my cousin. He was with the Royals, then got traded to the Rays in the Will Myers trade. And so he was always like behind Longoria. He was a third baseman with the Rays, and so he never really got to like uh, prove anything. He was always behind somebody. Then he went to the Brewers and then to the White Sox. So like I didn't have like a favorite team. I kind of just watched him. But I mean, getting drafted by the Red Sox, you can't ask for much more. I mean, it's a top tier organization in the game of baseball. Like the Yankees, the Red Sox, Dodgers. Like there's so many of them, and just get to have the opportunity to play in the Red Sox organization is something that you can't really take too lightly.
Yeah, and I told you earlier, so I'm good friends with Brandon Neely. Grew up with him. He got drafted by the Sox. Do you have any kind of relationship with him? Have you like talked to him when he got drafted? Kind of reached out to him as a former Gator at all?
I mean, a little bit. I knew so Neely got to school when I was leaving, so I got to hang out with him a couple times. Really great kid, and then get to see him that whole season or the whole 2 seasons that I got to watch, just to see him, compete at one of the highest levels that a lot of people can't even be at. It was awesome to watch him go out there. He's a dog on the mound. You can't really ask for much more out of him either. I mean, he goes out there and he competes his ass off every single time he's out there.
Right, and and you're and in respect to you too. You just finished a fourth season in the system. You have reached. You've even got a invite to spring training. What was that like, and how is getting a taste of that with guys that play at the top highest level? How has that helped you like as your drive every single day? As your that's your goal to get there one day.
I mean, it's sick. I mean, I get to go. I was in a locker room with Rafi Devers, Trevor Story. Like you just get to see you know, these all stars go through it every single day. Like it was sick. Like there wasn't a lot of talking going on. I mean, I talked to Story. I talked to Story more than I talked to Devers. But it wasn't anything too crazy because they go through the same thing every single day, the same thing that you're doing, and the main difference that I saw was that how disciplined they are. Even if things aren't going their way, they're still finding their own process. doing things the same way every day. And obviously you got to tweak some things if like different parts of your swing aren't feeling right. Like you got to tweak some things every now and then, but like it's the same thing every single day. Like it's you just got to die on your process, like die on that hill. So just getting to see them do that every single day, and how obsessed they are with their own process and their own goals that they orient themselves to. Like it was second to none experience.
Yeah, and I mean, you could argue to say that that's giving you some motivation to be an organizational all-star and be a postseason all-star. I saw with Portland. How does having those small accolades along the way, how does that give you some assurance that you're on the right track to get there and that you're headed the right direction? How does that give you some like motivation too?
No, it for sure helps. I mean, you go out there. I mean, I'm not playing 162 games like the MLB guys are, but like 140 games, like that's still a lot of games. So when you're going through your own process, and I mean, you're getting beat up by game 90. So like you just gotta the mental side of it. It gets tougher every single year because you're doing the same things every single day, every outing, every hour to the day is mostly the same thing. Like you just keep going. Honestly, it's just like a train. You just got to keep chugging on.
Would you be able to say that that's your motto? Just keep going. I share a similar motto, but um,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of people's motto. I mean, it's just, I mean, you just got to keep going. I mean, you're gonna get beat up. Like this is baseball. Like you're gonna fail. So like you just gotta keep going, keep chugging.
yeah, and sticking on that mental aspect, you're a Jacksonville kid, but you spent a majority of your pro ball career so far in Maine with the Sea Dogs. Do you have any family up there? Just how is it being so far from home during the season? How have you had to adjust to that? Because you were down the road at UF, but not anymore. So how do you adjust to that
Yeah.
in season?
I mean, it was tough at the beginning, but then you every level that you go up, it's kind of new because you're with new faces, you're with new guys. Like you just gotta find the guys while you're there, the guys that you kind of mesh well with, the guys that you really bond with, and you just kind of lean on them for a lot of things, even outside the baseball field. Like once you get to each different spot, like just you'll find your own little, not even like your own little group, but you'll find guys that you mesh with and you can talk baseball with, or just talk about life with, and you get to bond with new people.
Yeah, and just pushing through the minors, like I've seen it with working with the Tortugas. It's so much different. Just not only the playing surface, just the facilities you're used to. When you get there, have you experienced any different type of mental adversity or any type of adversity that you didn't really see in college that you're having to deal with now and push through?
um I mean, yeah, I mean, especially playing at Florida when we got the new, I don't even know how, like $60 million stadium. Like there's not really a lot of those. Like there are a few and far in between that you play at. So I mean, you get there on a Monday or you get there Tuesday, whenever you get there. Just that first day is always pretty tough. Just being able to kind of adjust yourself to the new playing surface, the new place. How does the ball fly? How does the ball look when you're hitting? Like it's different. But once you are there, you get and you keep going back. Like you'll get the hang of it. Like you'll be able to see it, and it kind of gets easier as you go on.
All right, I got a couple more questions before we wrap up, but we talked about it earlier. A lot of guys, especially like you, they'll shine in college and then you'll get drafted. This sport is unlike any other sport that you could be at the top of the heap, you get drafted and no one hears about you for a year, 2, 3 years until you get that big league call. Is there any way
Mhm.
you think that can be changed in this game to maybe highlight more minor league players or something you can think of that will give them not more star credit, but more credibility for the hard work that you guys have to put in every day to get there?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's way above my pay grade. I don't really pay attention to like the social media. Like that's never been really me. But like if I had anything to change, it'd probably be just, I mean, it's way easier now for like college kids and people in college with all the NIL stuff and a lot of more people like knowing who they are than rather than when I was there. Not saying that it was, way tougher or whatever, but like it's way easier now to get your name out there. So I mean, just kind of boosting your own social media and your own, public face is kind of the only thing that I gotta say
Yeah, it's the
about that.
nature of the beast that we live in now too. So
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
interesting. But yeah, one last question. This is kind of geared for, the guys that are playing right now at UF. Just what's your advice to the next skaters and college guys before they get drafted in the near future? What's something you wish you would have known before you got drafted that you know now?
Ooh, don't don't take the journey that you're on for granted. Honestly, when I was at Florida, I feel like I was there, and I knew I was going to be gone after 2 seasons. Like I was a draft eligible sophomore going into college, and I really feel like I didn't really take a lot of the experiences in of where I was, like playing at Tennessee or playing at Kentucky or playing Vanderbilt at home. Like just taking just take a second and like remember where you are, honestly, because like not a lot of people get to experience where you are or like, the position that you're in. Like you're at the University of Florida, you're playing Vanderbilt, you're playing Tennessee, you're playing all these high name universities, and you're playing against other high end prospects. So like you've been able to just take a second and just realize where you are and who's on the other team and like just the position that you're in. I feel like that's something that I took for granted that other people should, really see that big picture.
And then one last question off the top of my mind, because there are some lows in pro ball and it is a grind, but you get to enjoy a lot of stuff too. Do you have
Mm-hmm.
like just a personal favorite memory so far being in pro ball for you so far? After you finish your fourth season just now, can you believe it?
That 4 seasons is crazy. I mean, I personally I don't even count the first one because I think I played like 6 games, maybe,
True,
like
true.
not, maybe
Okay,
not
okay.
even. But I mean, nothing really hit better than seeing your name come across that draft board on TV like that. Nothing really hit better than that. But probably the fall league. The fall league was really fun. I got to see a bunch of guys that are now either in the big leagues or they're going up and down in the big leagues. Like some that were on my team or some that I played against. Just being able to be like, oh yeah, like I played against this guy. Like kind of see what I got to do compared to what they did. Like what's different between me and them. What did they do? What am I doing? Like because talent can only take you so far. So just being able to be obsessed with baseball, being obsessed with the game, like it's honestly an obsession. The main difference between a lot of minor league guys and MLB guys is that MLB guys are obsessed with their craft, and just being able to do that and be obsessed with what I'm doing, like that's gonna help me and that's gonna help a lot of other people too.
That was an awesome way to put it. No, I agree. And Nate, I'll be praying for you, buddy. It's not easy, but it is doable. And I always used to tell the guys in Daytona, like you're there for a reason. You wouldn't be there if
For
someone
sure,
didn't think you should be there. So
for sure.
definitely enjoy the off season. Keep busting your ass. It's gonna be worth it, brother. So best of luck to
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.